On the first page of the objectives here, we just did number 1. We've been through buoyancy, pressures at depths. We haven't covered number 4 yet, which says to apply Pascal's principle. We might come back to that, but for now we're going to leave that off. That's one that we might not come back to. We're going to start talking about number 6 now. Number 7, we're going to start talking about temperature and thermal expansion. We'll get through most of this first sheet, or first side of the objectives here today. That number 6 there says to just translate or convert between the different temperature scales. That's never a separate question on the exam, but when we start dealing with temperatures, you have to know when to use the different units, and you just need to know when and where to convert. That's not a separate question, but it will be mixed in with other things. So we'll write down those equations for your temperature conversions. I think many of you have already used these in your other classes, like chemistry, maybe for example. Let me just write this down for us. TF TC plus 32. TC is equal to 5/9. TF minus 32. And T is equal to TC plus 273. This is temperature on the Kelvin scale, the absolute scale here. Some of you used these before? These equations here, we're going to be dealing with temperatures. We're going to have different equations that are going to use different temperatures here. So we're going to need to know when to use which ones. And you'll definitely have some temperature conversions mixed in with other problems. So we'll need to know how to use these equations right here. I'm not going to do any examples with just using the equations. We'll see how that gets mixed in with other problems later on. And it's really just about you knowing these equations right here to convert temperatures. You guys know how to get these two right here? Or how to get either one of them if you didn't have it memorized? It's pretty easy actually if you remember a couple of just basic temperatures, correlations between Celsius and Fahrenheit. How many degrees Fahrenheit correspond to 0 degrees Celsius?
32.
What about 100 degrees Celsius? It's not as common, but a lot of you know that what that is.
270.
212. If you know these, you could get these formulas. These are just linear equations. You have two data points like an x and a y. If you find the slope of these numbers right here, you could really get these equations with a line or two more work. Let me just show you how to do that. Let's do delta TF over delta TC, like we're finding the slope. Okay. So what would the change, if I'm just going to let this be the final initial here, what would the change in my Fahrenheit scale be? 212 minus 32? How much?
180.
180. We have calculators, it's okay to use them. What about, and this is degrees Fahrenheit here, what about down here? That's an easy one. The Celsius? 100. Y'all got that. Yeah. I know it's early. I know it's late in the semester. How many times does 20 go into 180? And into 100? See, you're warming up. This basically gives you the slope. Okay? If this is like y over x here, then you could write an equation that says your t is equal to 9/5 Tc. And if this was in the form of y is equal to mx plus b, right? Y is equal to mx plus b, then what's the y-intercept? What should the Fahrenheit temperature be when the Celsius temperature is 0?
32.
There's your equation. That in that form, this is your 0, that's your y-intercept. So if you don't have your book, you don't have Google on your phones and you're lost and you're stranded somewhere and you want to calculate your temperatures, well, there's your equation. That's where it comes from. Sometimes you guys get mixed up on which one has the 9/5, which one has the 5/9. If you ever need it, as long as you know these two, it's find the slope, write your equation, and you're basically done. That's where they come from. These are other equations that sometimes, if I'm feeling generous, I'll give these to you, but you'll use them a few times. You should know how to get them maybe from these numbers here, but I'll tell you, and like I said, I'll post this probably up on the mastering, or I'll just make a copy and give it to you before, either maybe on that Tuesday of finals week or the Thursday before, just so that you know what you have to prepare with for the exam. Sometimes I give you these. I'll think about that also.
Got a lot of thinking.
I do have a lot of thinking to do. Then I have to think about how easy or hard I want to make your final. Super easy? Well, not going to be that easy.
Multiple choice?
Some of the
True
conceptual
false.
questions, yeah, the comprehensive material will be a lot in that form.